if you are trying to apply for a student visa to Spain, then this video is for you, specifically for those of you your course is less than 180 days. 180 days, that should be less than 6 months, right? Okay, so less than 6 months course, then this video is for you. By the way, I already have a more than 6 months, that is more than 180 days requirement on the channel. So if you're interested in that, you may consider checking that below. Now here are the list of documents that you have to fully prepare before you even start your application, to avoid mistakes that people have been doing along the road. Right, so the requirement here, the requirement for this particular people, which is less than 180 days, is by name SXU. So that's the name of the requirement. So XXU, right? So SSU is from the portal, straight from the portal. And I'll break everything down for you in the step by step. Of course, you cannot apply this thing without a passport. So you need your passport at least 12 months to expiring date. Is that okay? So that should be an interval of a year or more than that. I will not advise anybody to have your passport to expire in less than a year before you apply that, right? So if you're applying from Ghana, of course, if you're applying from Ghana, now our passport has been extended to 10 years interval for the adult. Is that okay? So make sure that you comply by that. So you need a copy of your biodata page. Biodata page is exactly where the picture is, right? So where your picture, where your information, and then you have a 2 passport picture, white background. Remember, white background, not a red background, white background. And then you need your birth certificate. So this birth certificate is a Ghanaian birth certificate. If you're already on this channel, I've shown a lot of those things to you. We need a green one, the biometric one, so that will be nice. Sometimes they do consider the old one, but maybe I'll advise everybody should go for the biometrics, right? So if yours is the old one, let me know in the comment section. You can just comment old birth cert. That one can be retrieved to the biometric one. So you can find out from the comment section, right? So you can reach out to us to do that. And then this birth cert must be legalized. So legalization process, I've already done a lot of video on that, but a quick one here is that you have to take the original, not a copy. They don't accept a photocopy. Is that okay? In case your birth cert is lost, is missing or something like that, if you have a copy on your phone, you can easily retrieve that, right? So we can assist you in doing that as well. And then once again, yours is lost, you don't even have a copy on your phone. You need your date, and then the date of birth, and then the name, the legal name, and then to find if it is in the system, then the birth and death will assist you in getting that. Well, if you need a help, once again, just make sure that you comment in the comment section below. Just write birth cert, okay, and then we will be glad to reach out to you. Okay, so this birth cert must be legalized. So first of all, to go to the Notary Public, the Judicial Service of Ghana, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then subsequently at the embassy, the Spanish embassy, for legalization. Is that okay? So it passes through 4 stages. Make sure that you comply by that. So after legalizing that one, then you have to translate it into a Spanish language, right? So where do you do the translation? So by an authorized translator in Spain. Is that okay? That is a requirement. So recently, I got a news that there is a legalized translator in Ghana here. But personally, I've not reached out to him or her before, but that is what I'm hearing. So mostly we normally do that in Spain, right? So from an authorized translator in Spain. Okay. So, the next one is going to be your qualification. Since you are applying for a school, there must be some level of qualification. So if your course is going to be a degree course, you will need your WASI, right? So that is a West Africa Examination Certificate to apply that. And then that certificate must also be legalized. So now you've understood the meaning of a legalization, the same process as the birth cert, right? What again? And then if you're applying for, let's say, a master's course, you need a degree, follows like that, right? Okay, perfect. If your course doesn't require a certificate, well, you don't need that. You don't need, but the basic one is going to be the WASI. So you always need the WASI to back your application up. Is that okay? Other than that, unless your institution confirm that they don't need a certificate to approve your decision. But here is the case, there is a requirement here, right? Okay. Now you need your medical insurance. I quite remember one lady was applying to a school. Is it a school? Yeah, it was a school, and then you got a medical certificate, and then you went and legalized the medical. No. Spanish embassy is not requiring you to legalize your medical certificate. All that they need from you is the original medical certificate, and then you translate it into a Spanish language. Is that okay? So that is as simple as that. And then this insurance must cover at least 30,000 euros interval. That doesn't mean that you need to pay 30,000. No. The insurance company knows how to do that, so you can confront them, and then you comply. Okay. The original and then photocopy of your accommodation. So if you have the proof of payment, you must add that to it. Your accommodation, where are you going to sleep? That is the point here. Is it a school dormitory? Do you have a hostel? You need to prove, or you need to have a proof of your accommodation. It's very, very important here. And then the proof of the payment, they need that. The original and then the receipt of the payment. That is the only evidence to show that you've made a payment. Is that okay? Okay, so you need that. By the way, if you're enjoying this video and then you haven't subscribed today, you may consider subscribing to the channel for more tips on your visa application, right? Okay, and then we can also give us a thumbs up if you are gaining some value from this video. Quickly do that. Okay. Where have you gotten to? So here, the next one is the admission letter. You cannot say that you are applying for a school without admission letter. Of course, you need admission letter. And then this is the original one. They don't need a copy. So every document, you can see that they need the original document and then the copy. So in the long run, the embassy keeps the photocopy and then return all the original documents to you. In the situation where you prove a stubbornness, where you didn't add the photocopies to it, your original, they might not return your original copies because they need a reference, right? They need the reference to the application. So always all the original copies, you must add the photocopies to attach to the application. Okay. Now, so that is the admission form. So this admission form must state your name, the course that you are going to offer, the duration, how long is it, that's the starting to the finishing, how long is that going to be, and then the total cost involved, right? So that is what must contain in the admission letter. And I believe the school knows how to do that. If you don't know, just prompt them that this is the requirements by the embassy. Okay. Now, a letter. Aside the admission letter, there must be a letter from the school. So this letter is a special letter stating the total cost of the duration of the course that you are going to offer, or they've offered you, right? And then if there is an outstanding payment, have you made a full payment? Have you paid up to certain where you pay 50% or you pay certain amount of fees? So they have to state that in that letter. Is that okay? So that letter, they need that letter as well attached to the admission letter, right? So that is a breakdown of what your course. Okay. Now, where? So original and then copy of the receipt of a payment and the tuition fee. So if you say that you made a payment to the institution, they need a receipt, the original and a copy of the receipt that you made to the institution. Is that okay? So they need that receipt to confirm. The original one, of course, the original. And then add a copy to it. So mostly it must be 25 to 30% depending on you and your institution, if it is allowed. Right? But the embassy needs that receipt to continue the application. Now, proof of income. So maybe there was one guy who reached out to me that I think it was the sister who was sponsoring his application. So how did they go about that? And then there was another person who said that his uncle sponsor his study to Spain. Well, according to the requirements here, is your parent, your biological parents, or your siblings. So siblings here are going to be the direct siblings, a brother, sister, something, those relationships. They are the people who can sponsor you. Now, let me break this thing into this sponsorship or this income proof into three different parts. It's even on the requirements. So three different parts. The first one is you that you are sponsoring yourself. So okay, if you are sponsoring yourself, so one, maybe you are an employee. Is that okay? So in a case where you are an employee, then it means that you have to provide an appointment letter from your institution, right? You are an employer, that you have been employer under this company, so and so. And then your pay slip as well as what, your bank statement for the past 6 months. Is that okay? So that is where they are going to verify, okay, you have been working under this company for this period of time, and then this is your income, and this is also you have under your or in your bank account for the period of what, the application. So a quick one here is that they did not state the specific amount that you have to get in your bank statement, but here's the tip. Now the federal says that you have to make sure that your statement, the money that you're having in your bank account, must cover your period of study. So if your course is, let's say, 6 months, you must make sure that the money in your bank account must cover that. So you need to check that per day. What is the expenses? What is the rate? Mostly, I think it was between, is it 100 euro or to 110 euro or something like that, or 70 euro to. I need to confirm that again. So you need to do that calculation, multiply by the number of days that you are applying. Is that okay? So it means that you have the money, and then you also have an additional enough money for your return. So that is what the embassy is going to base on. So be very, very careful when you are dealing with what, your bank statement. Is that okay? So be fully prepared before you even start your application. So that is in the case of what, the employee, right? So that is in the case of what, the employee. So okay, if you are self-employed, you want to sponsor your own trip, how do you go about it? So if you are self-employed, it means that you must have a business certificate, your tax clearance, and then your bank statement, the business bank statement, as well as personal service bank statement. Is that okay? So the business is telling the ambassador, okay, you are by yourself. You have been working by yourself, and these are the documents to show that you have been working by yourself. And then this is the amount of money I also have in my statements, in my bank account. That is both the business and the savings account. Remember, the focus is no more per experience. The focus is no more on the business account, right? So irrespective of the amount of money you have in your business account, it doesn't necessarily count here. So the money in your savings account, that is what you can spend on yourself. The business money, you cannot spend the business money on yourself. And that doesn't also mean that you should transfer such a huge amount from the business into the personal savings. It will raise the suspicions, right? So you have to make sure that you consult, you know how best. If there's such a transaction, you're going to prove that what exactly you have been doing to get that money transfer from your business account within that short possible time into your savings account, right? Okay, so fine. Lastly, let's talk about the sponsor side. So if you get someone to sponsor you, as I said earlier on, it's your parents, your biological parents, or your siblings can sponsor you. If that is the case, they must add what, an affidavit, a sponsorship affidavit. Is that okay? So they know the commissioner of oath or the notary public know how to do that, and then the person will add his or her bank statement to the application, right? Well, the statement can be two. Is that okay? Maybe you have your personal statement, that one is not enough for you, and then you need another support to attach to that. Yeah, of course, it's allowed, right? It's even boosts the application. You just make sure that you do the right thing. Okay, so if that is for you, you are an adult watching this video, and then this is for you. We wish you well in your application. And then if you have any other questions, you can comment them. Now let's get to the point where you have a minor, right? You have a minor, you want to sponsor a minor. What I mean by a minor, underage. And in Ghana or maybe in Africa, it's mostly 18 years, right? So you have a minor going to a school, in this case, which is less than 180 days. What are you supposed to do? So here's the case. You need an authorization letter signed by both parents. Is that okay? So this is an authorization letter issued or signed by you. You are giving the authority to your child or your ward to travel to Europe or to leave the country and go and study in Spain, right? So the two of you must endorse and then sign that. Of course, this affidavit must be legalized. So legalized means it must pass through the process up to Ministry of Foreign Affairs and then subsequently by the Spanish Embassy. Is that okay? All right, so it means that the two of you have accepted that the child can travel outside and go. Remember, since the child is a minor, there are some additional documents you must provide attached to the application, right? To make a well-being of the child. We don't want any, because child issue is a different case altogether. But with the proper documentation, everything is fine. Okay, now let's see what again do you have to. So, certificado negativo de delitos sexuales. That is the Spanish language here. Is that okay? So this is a certificate issued by the police. So it must be less than what? 6 months. That certificate that I'm talking about is issued in Spain. Is that okay? So it means that if you're having your words to travel outside the country and go and study, there must be someone in charge who you are giving your child to. Right? So there must be someone in charge. So that is the certificate issued by that person. Must attend to the police service over there in Spain to get that certificate. It must comply with what? The law that he or she is in charge of the upbringing of your child during the study. Is that okay? And then this certificate must not be more than 6 months. Right? At the time of applying, it must not be more than 6 months. Okay, and then the parent must also appoint a legal guardian in Spain. So this is an appointment letter. It means that you are the one. It's not the person that by going voluntarily going to do that by himself. You are the one appointed the person. So there must be a document to show that you are the one appointed that person. Right? Okay, so perfect. And then finally, and then this all these things must be legalized, right? So except the one that does the certificado de negativo, that certificate is already issued in Spanish language, so you don't need to attest that in Ghana here. And then finally, you have the acta de manifestación. So that is issued by a notary, right? So a notary publico. So that is in Spain. So in Ghana, yeah, maybe we say that it is the notary public, but in Spain, that is the notary publico, right? So you have to go there for the acta de manifestación. So that is a document, a legal document, so showing that there's a relation, there's a connection. So the teacher that is going to teach your child have accepted and then committed that he or she is going to take care of your child during the period of her study. Is that okay? So if you're able to do this thing, the entire thing, you have all these documents, I can guarantee you that your visa is gonna approve 100% without any issue. Is that okay? So where are you having challenges? Is it about the legalizations of the document, getting all those documents? You can reach out to us if you need our help. With many years of experience assisting clients in this particular field, I can guarantee you that we have a lot of experience when it comes to this documentation. So can let me know if you have any problem. But if this video has also helped you to reach your goal, we wish you well in your application. All the best.